right, we here. We are here. We are here. We got Mr. Deshaun Blunt in the building, man. Mr. Black Platinum. We got Sean Murphy from Half Court. Woodward Pistons in the house.
Yeah, was popping, baby. I have to. What's going on, guys? How we doing?
All right, man.
We kicking off this off season, man. It is now officially the off season. For the Pistons at least. We get ready to watch the playoffs, but after that, we know we immediately got to look forward to the draft. Which is exciting for us at least. Dwayne Casey did a masterful job tonight. Make sure that we didn't win a game, which I really don't even think it would matter anyway. But we pull some guys out. Don't need injuries. Don't need to put Cade out there risking getting injured. Mm-hmm. You need these guys healthy going into the off season.
A game that doesn't mean a damn thing. King.
Nothing. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I forgot it happened already. To be honest with you, man. King. It feels like it's the end of. It feels like it's the end of Cade's case for the Rookie of the Year. It feels like it's the end of my case for content Rookie of the Year. I guess if I'm saying so, but no. In all seriousness, man, like this was obviously a season of up and downs, but I don't think any of us could truly say that we felt that we were going to be this excited after this season with the record that we had, because if you're just to look at it solely from numbers and from the record, you're going to say, oh my goodness, we lost so many games, which yes, you're damn right we did. However, the amount of wins we had in that second half of the season, the way that we're setting ourselves up to still be in that top 3 draft odds for a number 1 pick, or perhaps, a 52% chance for a top 5 pick, which is really what we want, is another top 5 pick. I don't know how you could feel any better about the direction of this franchise. Obviously, there's some guys that, that are on the fringe, that will be some questions that will need to be answered. But for now, right now, it's all about May 14th and the countdown to the lottery. And that's the first step.
Absolutely, man. And before we even dig deep into the draft talk, before we even get in, I really don't even want to talk about today's game. Luka got 20, but it is what it is. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Deshaun. Let the the YouTube universe know who you are. We all know who you are on Twitter, but introduce yourself and go ahead and put your channel out there.
All right. First, I'd like to say thank you, King, for having me on. Before I go any further, you know what I'm saying? And this is definitely a good opportunity. I appreciate the opportunity. And you can find me. I'm a contributor at pistonpower.com. I got several articles over there. The one pinned to my Twitter is actually the top 5 small forwards in Piston history. Pretty good article. I narrowed it down. And I got a lot of content. I reached close to 80,000 last month. In the month of March, I was on the basketball intelligence list twice for Reporter of the Day. So, you know what I'm saying? This is my first year covering over there at Pistons Power. I was at a couple small sites before that, but I'm getting my feet wet. This is my first year, and I'm excited to move forward with it. You can also go over to the YouTube page, follow the YouTube page. That's going to be the Pistons Weekly Report over there. I'm going to be doing a live every Sunday, and I'm definitely going to be covering content throughout the week. Any news or interesting things about the Pistons team will definitely be on there.
Absolutely, man. Make sure you guys subscribe, because I will be going over there on some Sundays, man. We're gonna have to stick together, all the streamers, man. Like I said, we got a long off season ahead of us. We're gonna have to bring up some interesting things to talk about, man.
Lots of things to talk about, though. I think this is a crazy off season, in my opinion.
Yeah,
because you really could argue that, obviously, I know if you're looking at like where we're at in the steps. I think the first question that's worth asking is, do you guys think Troy Weaver watches Cade Cunningham and thinks this might be a good time to start cashing in, because this is the time you might have the most salary room. This might be the time that salary cap is at its highest, because of the fact that Cade Cunningham is showing that he's a franchise guy. He can win games. So part of you maybe wonders what happens if you bring in a veteran and you start trying to go at least a little bit higher in the Eastern Conference seeding. I mean, one could argue he could try to cash in on something this summer.
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's going to be pretty much a rodeo around the NBA this summer, man. But as far as Troy Weaver, I think he definitely could do that. We're not going to lose anymore. This is the turning point. It's per se, it's on now.
Right.
Now it's on.
Definitely.
So, it's time to make a couple of moves, man, and get prepared for this season coming, man, because I don't think their eye is just on a play-in type of position, man. I think they literally want to try and make a run and get into the playoffs, man, and give somebody some problems.
We're not tanking anymore.
No, hell no, that's over.
No, that's over with.
Yes, definitely over. Made that clear. You know what I'm saying? Next season is no more development, none of all that bullshit next season. It's go time.
Exactly. And I like to say this too with what Sean was saying. It's one of those things to me where it's like when you get in football, when you got the rookie quarterback, you got him on that rookie deal. You want to seize the opportunity while they're playing at a high level and put some pieces around him. That could be very well. That was a great point with that. And I see us making some moves possibly in that direction, trying to definitely bolster the lineup. I mean, to me, this is probably the biggest offseason for Pistons fans and the team in probably the last 20 years. With us having Cade Cunningham, you know what I'm saying? And really having the cap room, having the draft capital with a top pick, and then the young players, we got so many young players that those could be valuable assets.
Yeah, I think the big thing is the other thing is there's also nothing wrong with the fact that Detroit could also decide to just play it patient too, because remember, this is the first time that we have this much salary cap room in a long time. And Mike, to answer your question, I got the keys from a robbery. I held them hostage. I broke in the stadium myself. Mike. No, but in all seriousness, technology is an amazing thing. But yeah, no, there's a lot of reason to be optimistic, and now we're gonna have some room to play with. The Jalen Brunson reports, personally, the more I think about it, the more I like it, because if you watch how he plays with Luka Doncic, you see the fit with Cade. Like you like there, that is the direct application, because Cade Cunningham is probably the closest player stylistically to Luka Doncic in the league. And if you can get Jalen Brunson in at $16-17 million a year, that's a good deal. That's a hell of a deal. And that's a young guy and another guy that can handle the ball, score, get his own bucket, get other guys open like that. Like that's the kind of guy that, like, I'm not saying that can bring us to like the next level and make us be like a big playoff team, but like, you can see like Dwayne Casey working with him, making him like another like Fred VanVleet type player, which by no means is a bad thing, having a Fred VanVleet type player on your team. The guy who's tough as hell, who plays defense hard, who can shoot the three, is an impact winning type guy. Like there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about Detroit wanting to go after him. So I just think there's a lot of exciting moves that they can make.
Yeah, man. To me personally, I feel like why is Dallas not, why would he not stay in Dallas?
Yeah, that's just the question is, are they going to want to pay him? Because
because they have he's such a good fit next to Luka.
But the other thing is you got Spencer Dinwiddie there too. You're paying him a good amount of money.
And see, that's my thing. I would move on. If I'm moving on from Spence. Spence is, career history of not being healthy. You know what I'm saying? So, like I
said. But I don't know though, man. He's been playing really well for them.
He was playing really well before he tore his ACL.
Yeah, but like
that seems to be the story of his career. He's always playing really well, and then an injury comes about.
Even coming out in the draft.
What's the consequence of giving it a full season though, with how well that they're playing? Why would you move on with the sample size you're seeing? Why not at least give him 1 year to see if he can stay healthy? And then the worst case scenario, you could trade him and he's salary filler.
Well,
Why not at least try and make it work? And the other thing is, Luka, he's gonna have a big ass contract coming up, man. You want to talk about expensive contract extensions? Luka Doncic is going to be the highest paid player in NBA history. That's a spoiler alert. He's gonna he might get the first $300 million contract in basketball.
Well, I don't know, man.
And he's worth every penny, and that's the crazy thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, you know what I'm saying? And man, these athletes just don't realize, man. Do you really want to put yourself in jail? You know what I'm saying? Do you want to put yourself in jail? Because that's what a lot of these guys do, man. When they go out and they get these contracts, you put yourself in jail. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to be able to acquire what you really want to acquire to win. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, I mean, we seen back in, some years ago, we seen Carmelo idiotic ass do something like that where he took the money. You know what I'm saying? So you put yourself in jail, man. It's just, I hate it so much. You know what I'm saying? But he deserves his money. He does. He really does, man. But bro, going forward for the Mavericks is just gonna be like, hey, like, how are we gonna get to this next fucking step, man?
Yeah, aren't they already right there at the luxury tax now? I believe they're right around the luxury tax, and that's one of the reasons Jalen Brunson's name is circling as a possible free agent target for teams, especially us, because they're right around the salary cap, luxury tax, and it's a situation where they don't have the money to pay him, and unfortunately, as great as Luka is, they're really not getting the success that you would want out of a team that's hovering around the luxury tax.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend on how far they go this playoffs, because if they have another performance where, because Luka, as great as he's been, obviously he had to run into Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, and the Clippers, very difficult thing to face. However, still hasn't been past the first round. This team is better by all accounts. This team should have a legit case to make it to the Western Conference Finals, but it's all about how those other pieces around Luka fit, because we've seen Luka. He can go out there. He can get 30, 40, 50 points in key games. But if the team around you isn't doing jack, then why does it matter?
Thank you. And that's that's the point that I'm making, man, with some of these guys. For instance, tonight, Jalen Green, 41 points tonight in Houston, 41 points tonight. But guess what? They still got their asses kicked. And, like I said, when you look at the other, the other stats, man, as far as assists, rebound, and things like that, you're just not going to get that. He's good at what he does, which is score the basketball. He really does.
Can I give a hot take, an unpopular opinion?
Go ahead.
There's not a point guard in the NBA, I believe, in less than Kevin Porter Jr. I just don't believe in him, just from the attitude issues I'm hearing.
To me, they're virtually the same player. You have a redundant roster. You have two guys on there. That's the same player.
Well, I think Jalen's ceiling's a lot higher than Kevin Porter Jr.'s.
I mean,
lot higher.
But they both getting what? Both of them matching 30 games, man. And most of the time, Kevin Porter Jr. is percentage wise is doing better than Jalen. So it's just like, I mean, how much more is Jalen going to be than Kevin Porter Jr.? They're doing virtually the same thing, chucking up a bunch of 3-point shots and attacking the basket. Yeah, that's it.
I'm just not a fan. I just gotta be honest. I'm just not a fan at all.
Yeah, and that's the difference. Yes, you're right in the comments. At least Kevin Porter Jr., he does pass the ball simply because he's running point most of the time.
Right. It's a situation
that's not Jalen's job. It's not a knock to Jalen. That's just not his job. That's not what he is.
Jalen Green is just a traditional two guard. He's your old-fashioned two guard that he's going to play off the ball. He don't want to facilitate. If you give it to him, a lot of times it might be a black hole, but it's going to be a black hole because he's basically looking, why you give it to me if you don't want me to score?
Yeah,
you should have passed it to the next man.
He is literally a shooting guard. That's
exactly
the difference. The biggest difference between the two is when asked what they learned about their rookie season. Cade talked about how he's looking at the plays to affect winning, like boxing out, passing in transition, learning what the other guys around him are doing on the court. And Jalen Green's answer was, I learned I'm a bucket. So if you're looking at
Yep.
what these guys are and what they're going to mean to their franchise, that's the difference, because the guys that can learn what Cade Cunningham is talking about are the guys that truly are winning games in this league. And the fact that this guy's saying it at 20 years old, when guys like Jason Tatum took 5 years to get to this point and learn it, when it's taking guys or other stars throughout the league years to learn it. Cade's 20 years old. He's got that mentality. This dude's special. What else do you want me to say, bro? Like rookie of the year, man.
Different and special. You know, and like I said, man, when Jalen Green said that, I just looked at the TV and said, wow. You know, I'm a bucket. That's all you learn in your rookie season. I'm a bucket, huh?
Did either one of y'all get the opportunity to watch that full interview in its entirety?
With Jalen Green?
Yeah, where he's mentioned the bucket situation.
They only showed that clip.
See, it was about 5 or 6 minutes. And he did go on to, you know, talk about his teammates and different things like that. I think both of these guys is exceptionally good players when you talk about Jalen Green and Cade. Now,
I think they're both good players.
Cade Cunningham is on a different level, man. The ability to have Cannon, Ashton in his corner to help him grow as not just a basketball player skill-wise, but building that mentality in him, man, and grooming him for long-term success is the separator to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, they're both super talented, you know, and that was known coming out of this draft. It's just the difference between the two is, I believe, one is going to be more of a winner, and that's going to be Cade Cunningham, and that's simply because of the values that he has and a mentality that he has as a basketball player. And you know, when they were coming out, when I was giving my mock drafts or whatever else, and I was, you know, putting a distinction between the two, is just, you know, that Cade is the Swiss Army knife. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give you scoring and then some. You know, he's going to help other guys get better. He's going to box out. He's going to try to block shots. He's going to give you all the other departments. You know what I'm saying? Jalen, very talented at scoring the basketball. The question coming out of the draft was his defense. You know what I'm saying? Defending. Does he go as hard on the defensive end? He's done a decent job improving over that. I have been, you know, keeping up with Jalen Green. But like I said, Cade is just another level. He's a different level.
Jalen Green's Bradley Beal. To me, he is Bradley Beal.
Perfect example.
It is the analytically, the comparisons there, just the eye test, they almost look the exact same, even body size, the way that they attack the game, their approach, their attitude. And that's not a bad thing.
No.
Bradley Beal is a guy that 30 out of 30 teams would want on their team. However, there's only one team in the league that apparently wants to put him as their number one guy on their team, because you can't center that as the number one. Even Michael Jordan, who is a great scorer and was very similar in the sense that he came out and he attacked the offensive end. Even he had to learn through Phil Jackson and learn through those years that you have to affect winning throughout everyone else. You have to put other guys before yourself. And it's really the key passes, and it's the setting up your teammates. It's the way that Luka Doncic, the way that he's gotten a lot better, is that it's really how he controls the flow of the court to get his teammates open for easy shots. That's the way the Mavericks win games, is because he does that kind of stuff, you know? So, and the fact that that's the way that Cade Cunningham approaches it, and, you know, Jalen Green, if he wants to get there, that takes time. He doesn't have that in his game yet, and it takes time to get it. Simply, it just does.
Yeah, just got to learn the nuances of winning, man. That's the difference. You know, right now the talent is overflowing. You know what I'm saying? We know the talent is there. Just got to learn how to, you know, those concepts of winning. You know what I'm saying?
It's playing in the flow of the game, and then it's controlling the flow of the game. And those are two completely different things. Because if you're playing within the flow, you're just doing your job, you're playing within your position, you're going out there, you're playing within your role. But then if you're controlling it, you're making other guys' roles harder. You're going out and actually dictating what they're going to be able to do and how they can get how they can cost their team and get in difficult situations. It's a real chess match. It really is.
that's also one of those things too that you could credit to not just the difference of the two players, but the difference in the position they play. As a point guard, which I feel Cade Cunningham is, you're supposed to dictate tempo. That's part of your job. It's in your job description to control pace, to dictate tempo, know when to run, know when to slow it down, and things like that. I think from a shooting guard perspective, not so much. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I just like to add that with everything too.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I mean, I don't want to make this string too heavy, Jalen Green.
No.
Because it's not
Definitely.
like we're not
It's
saying
not
that
bashing him or
Jalen Green
anything.
is
Yeah.
bad. That's not what this is. You know what I'm saying? The kid is excellent. You know what I'm saying? But he's excellent at what he does.
It's the difference. Yeah, it's just a different.
Yeah,
it's just a difference in the game. It's like I'm not saying the two players is that, but it's like a LeBron Kobe conversation. You know what I'm saying? Do you want the scorer? Do you want the guy that can do it all? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
Absolutely. So we at season end. We are at season end. We're getting ready to go into the playoffs, man. Just looking at the play-in, you got a lot of talented teams right now going against each other, man. It's going to be some type of fun, including one of those teams who I still think have a legit chance to win the East.
Yep.
And that is the Brooklyn Nets. If Brooklyn stays healthy in these playoffs, do you think there's any chance that someone can beat them in a series?
So my biggest question this playoff, well, first of all, I think for Boston, it's how quickly can you get Robert Williams back? Because I think that can affect a lot of things. Because let's not forget, man, when the Boston Celtics were healthy, they have been dangerous. Even when Robert Williams has been out, they're still 7-3 in their last 10. Obviously, it's a regular season, but they're not as good of a team without him. However, to me, the way that Milwaukee has been clicking on all cylinders, and how Giannis has taken his game to another level again, because that's just the way Giannis is. Brook Lopez of late has looked better. Serge Ibaka is a guy that can come alive for at least one game in the playoffs. My biggest question with Brooklyn, it's just going to be if Ben Simmons comes back, which reportedly they're optimistic he could come back for the first round. If that's the case, then how dangerous is this team? And the other thing, they are going to have to play. If they come in and they win and they maintain the 7th seed, that means they play if everything stands and everything holds as of right now, they play Boston round 1. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Ime Udoka. They play the number 1 defensive team in the league round 1. Talk about big environments, big atmospheres to bring Ben Simmons in. Welcome to Brooklyn. Welcome. Like, hey, let's get your mental health foray. Let's revive your game. Start in Boston.
Every year. I do this every year.
But on the other hand, we just got to say it, King. I do. Because it's Kevin Mother Durant. And that's the thing. He might be the best basketball player in the world. And as far like when he is healthy, he might be the most unstoppable offensive player in the history of the game.
And that's the difference between
that's the difference.
Jason Tatum sometimes stops himself. You know what I'm saying? So and here's the thing, teams like Boston, teams like Milwaukee, every single year when we come to this point of the season, we say the same thing. Man, they're playing like this and they're playing like that. And then the playoffs, it's a whole different season. You know what I'm saying? They're regular season warriors. I expect them to do this, be the best defensive and everything else. But watching them again in the playoffs, now they got lucky and they got past because of what was going on with Brooklyn. But every single year with Milwaukee, it's the same thing in the playoffs. Chris Middleton is wildly inconsistent. You see what I'm saying? Some teams are smart enough to defend Giannis by keeping him away from the damn basket. So
if they play the way they did in the finals last year, though, here's the thing. If that team shows up, and that's the team we've been seeing of late, mind you.
Who did they play in the finals?
The Phoenix Suns. a damn good team. Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges. By the way, the Phoenix Suns, who are going to win the finals this year, they are going to be the NBA champions. Devin Booker, who the Detroit Pistons should have drafted, which we're not going to talk about because it hurts my heart too much. Grand Rapids native, fellow native myself. Phoenix is going to win the championship this year, man. They're too good.
Who did Phoenix have to get by last season?
They curb stomped the Lakers,
which ain't hard to do.
They Suns and Ford the Nuggets, Jokic, and that team, which they belittled, and then they had to face the Clippers without Kawhi. However, Paul George is he is him. How the Jazz didn't get to that series, by the way, still blows my mind. But then
it's crazy.
And then somehow the injury of Dario Saric was the undoing of this roster. I don't know how, but that's what costed them at the end of the day.
So, Chris Paul and the Suns. I will argue this season that it probably would be their year to win it.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely will. When you look at the West, like I said, your toughest task in the West is probably who you want to go with as far as what the
Golden State King.
Warriors.
Golden
the Warriors
State. If Curry comes back, you have to expect them to do something.
Okay, perhaps, but guys, let's remember. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry haven't played on a basketball court together since 2019.
How many times have they played in the finals?
I was going to say, and they also never lost a playoff series. It's
a whole different world.
I understand
they also never lost a playoff series. Those boys is battle tested. They know how to win with each other, and they're one of those teams.
There's nothing else they can learn from each other.
You have to beat them. You're going to have to beat them.
Those three players know how to win with each other. What
Plus
about the rest of the guys? The rest of the guys have never played with those three guys on the court together. They have no clue what the hell it's like.
You still got
Splash Brothers.
You still got Kevon Looney. You still got Iguodala. They have groomed up Poole in the right way. He's ready to contribute. And Andrew Wiggins too.
Giving you in 2022.
But
professionalism. The same thing Haslam brings to the table.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
So, like I said, I'm not just ready to just, like I said, and when we look back at the East, man, like I said, with Milwaukee, man, I don't trust Milwaukee, and I just feel like they had a cakewalk to the damn fucking finals last season, and I just felt like if Brooklyn was healthy, there is no way in hell they would have won.
Well, and on top of that, if Kevin Durant's toe was 2 inches behind him, they would have gone to the finals.
It's just like, bro, and then like, how the hell are you gonna stop Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving now?
I don't understand.
You're not.
Yeah,
you're not.
In retrospect,
you're gonna have to figure out other ways to beat them because you're not gonna slow those two guys.
I just struggle because just looking at the fact that this team, like, they had James Harden, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Durant in the building. They were a toe away from going to the finals.
Yep.
And they couldn't keep it together. It's just, I can't, man.
Well, we as they say, we about to fuck around and find out. Because like I said, and then like I said, I still don't think Ben Simmons is going to end up playing. They can miss me with that. Everybody's going crazy about the practice video and all of that. Like, come on, bro.
We just got to stop. There just can't be any more freaking. We can't do it anymore.
No.
Stop giving us freaking videos
of
him taking jump shots. We just don't do it.
If it's not on I don't want to see it in the preseason. I don't want to see it nowhere but in an actual game setting. Nothing else will impress me from Ben.
No. Nothing at all, man. And if he does play, so be it. But even without Ben, I still say the way that team is structured this time around, they're even better. The pieces they have to fit now, they're even better. So I just don't. I cannot sit here and just say Milwaukee's just going to walk past Brooklyn, man. I just can't. I can't fix my mouth to say it.
You know what I can say, King?
Mm-hmm.
I'm rocking this summer. You hear the siren?
Yeah.
Killian Hayes, you're not going anywhere.
Hey, they got it going on Twitter right now already.
I seen you pushing that too, King. I meant to retweet it. I'm gonna get on it after we get off the live. I'm definitely retweeting that.
Absolutely, man.
We need him here.
You're not going anywhere. You are staying in Detroit.
Stay here with Ashton.
Yes.
Just be sure we're blasting that all summer, man.
All summer,
I said it to Ashton. He laughed. He approved it. He said we got to get this blasting. I tweeted it. Follow Woodward Pistons if you haven't already. We're blasting that all summer, man.
Yes, sir.
Man. You know what? So let's just get into it. Let's get into off season, man.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight was another night where we seen Isaiah Stewart, which is a person that's going to be working with Ashton, since we just mentioned Ashton. We seen him knock down more 3-point shots, even a walk-up 3-point shot. I was really impressed with that. But knocked down more 3-point shots. It looked more and more like the Isaiah we've seen from rookie season. So over the summer, working on this jump shot, develops some type of consistency. Do we move Isaiah to the 4, or do we leave him where he is?
I think you go ahead.
Or another avenue, free agency to draft. There's going to have to be an odd man out. You know what I'm saying? So it's so many questions when it comes to Isaiah Stewart for me, because like I said, if he can show that consistently, then I would say you could move him to the 4, because I truly feel like he's a 4. He's not a 5.
I disagree. I think positionally he plays as a 5. I think he's just I understand size, man, but like just positionally, the way he likes to play, he likes to bang in the post. He likes to bang with the big boys. He likes to be tough. He likes to guard their 5s. You know what I mean? So I think I do think you can get in a guy like how Cleveland has it, where they have a guy who is 7 feet, like say a Jabari Smith Jr., a guy or like a Chet Holmgren, or even perhaps Apollo like that alongside Isaiah. And I think that kind of pairing where you can have that rim protection from more than one and really just kind of embrace that positionless kind of versatile kind of lineup. I think that would be a fun avenue to take it.
So with that said, for instance, Rasheed Wallace was a 4, and he was taller than Ben, and Ben still played 5.
Yep.
So that's where that example, is coming from. And like I said, I will feel like, he will do a better job defending 4s. I don't think he likes defending 5s. I wouldn't say he likes it, but he does. He likes to bang. He likes to get physical. So like I said, we bring in a guy that's 7 feet. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Stu stays as a starter. You got to just think Jeremy Grant, man. Jeremy Grant, because if we go in this draft and we draft one of these forwards, we go on free agency and grab another big.
He's the elephant in the room.
Yeah, he's the elephant, and he's the odd man out.
Well, yeah, it's the question of what is Detroit's plan? Right. Because they realistically, they absolutely could just go ahead and decide, hey, let's extend Jeremy Grant. That is a realistic option for them. But on the other hand, do they think that his prime correlates with the rest of our teams? Now, you could realistically say that this core doesn't really have a short time limit. I think Cade is someone that Detroit wants to have for years to come. I think Cade wants to be in Detroit for years to come. But on the other hand, another thing you have to understand is, stars in this league, you never know how long you have. Now, Cade, obviously, he wants to be in Detroit. Ash, and everybody's all in on Detroit. But again, you want to stay aggressive. You want to make sure that you're having the best pieces around possible. And that could just so happen to be through getting another lottery pick, trading it to a team like Portland that would be willing to give up their lottery pick in return, getting more capital.
So in your mind, Deshaun, is Jeremy Grant a 4 or is he a 3?
He's definitely a 3. I mean, it's one of those things where I never really seen him as a power forward anyway. I always looked at him as a 3 that was just playing the power forward because at that time when he came over, we did have Blake and those other guys. So he just kind of ended up there after the Blake Griffin buyout. And it's a clear-cut thing where he's playing out of position. Back to beef stew. Y'all made a great point. I'm not sure if it was yesterday or the day before. Y'all made a great point about Stewart when he does help, not having that next guy to come over there and either clean up the rebound or challenge the shot. And like you said about Ben Wallace and Rasheed Wallace, that's something that they always did well together. You know what I'm saying? So if he's not going to have that 7-foot counterpart next to him, you have to move him to the power forward as far as beef stew.
Yeah. You know, like I say, it's...
Well, even Detroit over time, I mean, they've always thrived when they've had those, like, dual big men that can help and protect. I mean, like, Bill Laimbeer and Rick Mahorn, Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman. Just all the guys that they've had, you know, Rasheed and Ben, and now it could be Isaiah and whoever that next guy is. I will say, Chet in a Pistons uniform would give some 2022 Bill Laimbeer vibes a little bit. So that would be kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It really would. Like I said, so it's all right. So
hey, King,
you know, go ahead. What?
How much money are you offering Corey Joseph this offseason?
I'd probably give him a bag of Doritos and a honey bun, and you know, pat him on the butt and tell him to get the hell out of here. That's about it.
Pat him on the butt, tell him to get the hell out of here. Deshaun, you muted.
Yeah, I don't see the long-term benefit in Corey Joseph being around. You know what I'm saying? He definitely needs to get up out of there.
I think the writing's on the wall.
Didn't we restructure his contract in the offseason and he's still on for another year?
I think it's a team option.
Team option. Okay, right. Yeah, we need to weigh those options and cut our time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go knock on the damn stadium door and talk to some people.
Yes, sir.
Because, you bring him back, I'm gonna lose it.
It's gonna be a rough year. It's gonna be another rough year.
Yeah,
I'll be right back.
That I think more out there welcome with the team, but I just think it's one of those things where it's time to move on from a few guys, man, that we might have to cut ties with just so we can addition by subtraction, man.
Absolutely, man. So if we get Corey Joseph out of the picture, does that free up more time for per se someone like Saben Lee?
You know what? Watching the game tonight, I came to the realization, man, that Saben Lee may have played his last game as a Piston tonight. You know what I'm saying? I think the writing on the wall is for Saben, man. The writing is on the wall for him. And it's one of those things where, you know what I'm saying? I don't try to knock too many players, man, but that's a broken jump shot. I've been watching basketball, following the game of basketball for a long time, and he's too old. It's too late in the game to really just reconstruct the whole jumper, man. It's gonna be hard pressed for him moving forward with that jump shot.
I would say this. I'd feel a little bit more comfortable about Saben Lee if he was more of a aggressor on defense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how you can survive in this league with having those type of issues. If you're great on defense, you have a broken jump shot, you can survive in this league that way.
Right.
I don't know if Saben ever, sticks to a Pistons roster, especially with, I feel like they're going to acquire, per se another guard, and you're not going to outplay anybody to get that spot. So I don't know, what I'm saying, how it works with Saben, but I think he sticks in the G League. I truly do, man, because it's just too broken. Then he's undersized, especially on the defensive end. If you're not aggressive, I don't know what team, what roster that you can stick to. I love Saben, dude. I really do.
Oh man, come on, man. As far as like, what type of player he is, his heart, his determination, his athleticism, I love everything about him. Is outside of the obvious weaknesses, I just feel like those things, the weaknesses he does have in his game, the flaws in his game, are hard to deal with at an NBA level. And looking
and that's right now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's going to that what we're saying to you guys is it's going to take him a while. For instance, this example that's in the comments, Ish Smith. You know how long it took Ish Smith to even be able to get any respect at the 3-point line?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It took him a very long time to get there.
Right.
So
he was about 30 years old by the time he was respected as far as and actually got minutes like that. He bounced around and was on the last man on some rosters, but
yeah, I just, man, I don't know. I don't know what happens with that situation, man. Also, Luka Garza, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he had 20 tonight. As far as this roster goes and the way this roster looks, do you see Luka Garza eventually in the future, at least becoming one of the 15th guy on the bench? You know what I'm saying? Because we all love Luka. You know what I'm saying? He stretches the floor. He's a big, but we all know what his faults are. And his faults are those feet, the lack of athleticism. He cannot move those feet fast enough. It's the reason why he fell in the draft for a purpose. So, when it comes to playing that position in the NBA against starters, I just don't know, man. I don't know.
I hate to say it like this, but we know what we see when he's in pick and roll situations, and you can't expect. It's one of those things where the way I look at some of those guys, King, it's like this. We knew what we was going through this year as far as development and what we were doing. If those guys had a hard time getting on the floor this year, and we plan on making some necessary moves to really bolster the lineup and get better, then how can we expect them to really crack the rotation moving forward?
Right.
There's not really going to be room for development. There's not going to be room. We're going to be trying to go to a win now mentality as far as still allowing these young guys to grow within their game. But there ain't going to be no room for scrimmage and practice guys out there, man. I just don't see with us tanking this year. I don't see it with the way they couldn't crack the rotation this year. I don't see them being able to crack it moving forward.
Yeah, and like I said, man, it's going to be an eventual thing for Luka, man. Like I said, for everybody that's in the comments, everybody watching the stream, don't take it as we don't like these guys. We love these players, but we're just trying to speak the harsh reality.
The NBA is a business.
It's a business,
and you are. Every year there is a new slate of players that come in and that are now eligible to compete for your job. Yeah. And so each and every year, these guys have to go out there and prove why they deserve to be considered as like 240 of the best players in the world, because each and every year, some of those guys no longer meet that criteria. And Luka Garza has a lot of intangibles and things that are great aspects of his game. He was National Player of the Year for a reason. But I mean, he's going to have to be able to move better laterally and horizontally, like just all around. He's just going to have to move better if he wants to be on the court, or he's going to have to be like Nikola Jokic, who still doesn't move great, but knows how to move properly, and when he needs to move, he can.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, knowing where to be is another thing. Like I said, he's going to have to learn the nuances of the game a little bit better, man. And like I said, hella talented on the offensive end. No complaints there. You know what I'm saying? He's a hustler. He has a motor. You know what I'm saying? He can stretch the floor. He sets solid screens. He is a big body. But those feet, I just don't think those feet are fast enough for him to be, on someone's roster as a piece.
Well, and that just in order to get it there, it's just going to take work. It's just going to take
a lot of work.
It's just going to take a lot of conditioning. There's no doubt in my mind. There's no doubt in my mind.
Here will question his work ethic, his pedigree, and what he's about, man. He hell of a player, man.
And I think the Pistons organization, as long as they have a spot and as long as he's willing to be part of the Motor City Cruise, as long as he's willing to keep working there and putting in the work, the franchise will honor it, and they will keep him around in whatever way they can. they impressed him enough this past offseason to get a full contract with the team this summer. He competed for a job this year. He did really well for the Motor City Cruise, but this summer, like we said, it's like we said, tanking's over. It's time to compete.
It's business time, yeah.
It kind of makes with Killian Hayes, it's this season, what we saw out of the second half, that has to be the Killian Hayes we get, because if there are any remnants of Killian Hayes from the beginning of the year, where he was tentative, he wasn't bold, he was passive, he wasn't doing anything, he was uncomfortable going in with his body. If there's any signs of that, he might be gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Because like I say, it's go
that's
time.
Just the reality. It is go time.
It's a business. It's a business.
Yeah, it's a business, right? Like I said, it's no ill will towards none of these guys, but we know how the NBA goes, man. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it depends on his work this summer. You know what I'm saying? I would argue that he comes back next season possibly even better than what we've seen this second half of the season, if he puts the work in.
If he goes in with Ashton, and works with the guy.
Killian is one of those young men that puts that work in, man. He's a monster as far as his work ethic and all that type of stuff. And I think we actually seen glimpses of it once he got to the bench and got put back in his natural role of being able to have the ball in his hands at times. I think we seen some glimpses of that from him. And but at the end of the day, he has to step up. He has to move forward. And I think it all starts with that space in the floor, that catch and shoot three.
One thing I don't question with any of those guys we brung out of the draft was work ethic.
Yep.
Sadiq Bey, Isaiah, Killian transformed his body in one offseason. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think the work ethic is going to be a problem. But next season, I need him to come in with the mindset of, I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers on this court.
He needs to go in with full confidence that he's going to take that next step and that he is going to be that guard next to Cade. Because ultimately, if Killian can be that guy that can start with Cade and he can beat Jalen Brunson, and Jalen Brunson can be our sixth man, that is when this team ceiling will be at its best, because the defensive ability of Killian Hayes. I mean, we just saw, we see it right now with the Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks, like the two teams from the finals last year. A lot of those guys' success is from their defense and from how versatile they are in those backcourts. And like with Drew Holiday, look at how big of a difference he was.
We just got done talking about Boston. Marcus Smart.
Yeah, exactly. Like, those guys are just so valuable. So with Killian, it's just, dude, like, we want to see you succeed. We want to see you do that. But you gotta really add to your bag this offseason. You got to get that shot starting to fall down.
Now, I have a question for a player I absolutely adore, but we have not been talking about. And I see people starting to mention it in the comments. Hamidou Diallo this offseason. I don't think he ever becomes that consistent knockdown jump shooter.
Nope.
So when you look at his role on this team, most likely as that two guard off the bench, man, how long do you think he sticks around, man? In that, because
man, it's weird, right? Because before he was injured, he really seemed consistent. Like he seemed like he was like one of our most reliable guys. And then obviously he's gone, and guys like Isaiah Livers come out and play the way that he does. And Isaiah Livers is cheaper. Isaiah Livers is younger. Isaiah Livers doesn't have the athleticism of Hamidou Diallo, but he does have the ability to improve over time. He does have that ability to consistently knock down that 3-point shot, which might be more important than that athleticism that Diallo has, as great as that is, right? But the question is, if he can continue to play defensively the way that he did at certain points, like he did in December when he was leading the league in steals at one point, he can have a role on this team anytime.
Yeah, well, it's definitely going to be room for him because Livers most likely is going to be on that number 3 off the bench role. But
Yeah.
Diallo, I would say, even though
If
he's not
Jalen
a
Brunson
consistent
comes
jump
in,
shooter,
if
yeah,
Jalen Brunson comes in, he's farther down the rotation. He's like a
yeah,
15-minute a game guy.
yeah. And see, that's the thing right there. This is why I'm bringing up Diallo. So if we do go and get a Brunson, you got to start looking at how many guys we got on this roster, man. Those minutes are going to get shorter and shorter,
Right.
and some guys are going to be unhappy. So that's why I said, how long do you think he sticks around? That's why I was asking that, man, because this is Troy. Good Lord.
I mean,
yeah,
there might not be many better fits though in the league for Hamadou
right.
than this one. I mean, maybe like a team like Sacramento, but do you want to go play with the Kings? Do you want to go be with Josh Jackson? And do you want to go be with those guys over there? I'm not looking over there and seeing the grass is greener. So I mean, I don't. The thing with Hami is I don't really know if he has the leverage to say much. I don't know.
I mean, Hamadou, I'm sure we all love his game, but he has no leverage at this point. I believe what's he on, like a $2.5 million contract per year.
Mm-hmm.
So he's in a situation where he's actually getting paid like that 12th, 13th man. So I think he needs to continue doing what he did, fit in with the organization, figure out ways that he can be effective as far as with his defense, his steals, hitting passing lanes, things like that, getting out on the break. But the better this team gets, the less and less touches he's gonna get, the less minutes he's gonna get. I don't see him being on the team past next year if he's on the team at the start of next season.
I think he's going to be here. And the reason why I say it, even with the Brunson, you ain't paying him $20 million to come off the bench for a couple of minutes. That ain't gonna happen. So
they do have a team option on him this summer. So
he's a Troy guy.
He is a Troy guy.
This dude went over the coach's head to Troy. So he's a Troy guy.
He is a Troy guy, but on the other hand, he could also be a trade asset. He could also be going another way, packaged in with a guy alongside, say, a Jeremy Grant because of his deal where he has a team option with it. So I do think that Hamadou is expendable just because of how many guards that there are back there. Because then you get into okay, because on one hand you could keep Hamadou, but realistically, you could also realistically just pick up Frank Jackson, who's $2 million less, and can hit the three. Like from a fit standpoint, you could make that argument. Now, I'm not saying Frank Jackson's a better player. I'm just saying if we're looking from a business standpoint, you're going to get guys out there. Who do you want? Guys who can hit that three out alongside with Cade and Killian, right? That would be the best fit realistically. So that's the thing. Like if you're starting to play ball with the salary cap and you're starting to try to win games, those are the conversations and those are some of the decisions you might have to make. So that's going to be the interesting thing coming up. If I'm Troy Weaver, am I looking at Frank and am I looking at that $3 million deal? Am I saying is Hamadou worth $2 million more?
Are you just trying to build a roster of shooters? Because I mean, there's no way I'm taking Frank Jackson over Diallo. Diallo scores. It's not he doesn't shoot threes, but he can score, and he can score at a high rate at times.
So, I mean, Frank. Remember when Frank's healthy? He's had stretches where he could score too.
That's right. He can knock down shots. But Frank on defense, no.
You're not wrong there.
And if you're trying to build the Pistons, no. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're right. However, again, is it worth the $2 million? Is it worth the $2 million? And again, I know that's petty, but like that's kind of like that's like my thing. If I'm looking at who you keep, it's just going to be interesting because those are some of the conversations that are going to be had. Because realistically, you could try to just go get some more expensive veteran guys who could come in and affect winning, and that's and some of those.
Know this, please. These are good problems to have. Troy Weaver,
they are.
Yeah,
they are
great problems, Piston fans. So this is all signs of moving in the right direction. When you're moving in the right direction, you have to make these business moves and you have to make the decisions for the best interest of the team. And this is a great place to be in, where we got these young players that we have to come to grips of what are we going to do with them. So
and if we're being honest with ourselves,
and
if we're being honest with ourselves, neither of these guys, there's a chance that neither of these guys will be on the team when we win a championship. Let's just be honest. There's a realistic chance that neither of these guys would be on that roster, just because that's how many moves are going to be made between now and then. Like Troy Weaver, he's going to be aggressive. He's going to be wheeling and dealing. He's going to be doing things. So we truly don't know who's going to be on that roster. Like realistically, let's just look at the roster right now. Let's look at the names and let's go through, like, if you think they'll be here or not. Okay. Like, let's just up to down. Jeremy Grant, I think that's like a yes or no. Like, that's a 50-50. That's the biggest toss up. We don't know. Kelly Olynyk. What's that?
Hell no.
No, I don't think he makes it to next year.
I'd argue he'd be on the team until the trade deadline. That's my argument. Marvin Bagley, he'll be here. I would go out on a limb. He'll be here. Cade Cunningham, something tells me he'll stick around. Corey Joseph. No. Have a Cinnabon delight. Have a good day. Killian Hayes.
Depends.
Right. Depends. I see him at the start of the season being on the roster.
I say at worst a bench guy.
Mm-hmm. Amadou Diallo.
I don't know. It depends. Troy guy, defense and scoring as a slasher. I would say is a possibility. Frank Jackson and Magruder are in the same class to me. They both can shoot the ball. And they're not giving you shit else. Nothing else. They're not distributing the ball. They're not playing defense. They're not giving you anything else but shooting. You can find that anywhere.
You can get that a dime a dozen in the league today.
But you can't get 5 steals in a game like Diallo from them guys.
Stewart.
People underestimate what Diallo do, man. He's like I try to mention, he's one of our best finishers around the basket, man. He gets to the free throw line. He puts pressure on that defense in a different way than something we don't have right now.
Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, he'll be around. Yeah.
Frank
At
Jackson.
worst on the bench. Frank Jackson, I don't think Frank will be here.
No.
I don't.
No.
All right. Sadiq Bey.
Of course.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he will. If we were to ever trade for a big star, I think he would be a name that would probably have to be in there. Yeah. But as of right now, I'd say yes. Rodney Magruder.
No.
I agree. Saban Lee.
No.
Nope. I agree. They still technically have him on contract next year for $1.7 million, and technically that's still guaranteed. However, I would imagine he could be someone that they could use in a trade. Low salary contract. Isaiah Livers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luka Garza.
No.
Carson Edwards.
Absolutely not.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Hey, Carson was a fun signing, but no.
No.
Braxton Key. Well, he did get signed as a 2-way, so he'll probably stay. DeMarco Pickett, probably still on the 2-way, maybe not. I don't know. He's been fine, but
I wouldn't expect nothing more out of those two guys than some G League run next year. I wouldn't expect no fans to get real hype about what they seen out of them as far as extending their minutes next year.
By the way, the only other player other than Cade Cunningham that we will be paying through 2024-25 right now, Dwayne Dedman.
Wow.
So that's weird, but hey, that's okay. Troy Weaver's doing a good job. I won't complain about that.
Got to take the good with the bad.
Yep, 100%. Yep.
Absolutely.
And I think that was a good move as far as the way they stretched that contract a little bit, spread it out.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're already eating the contracts of Blake. We're already eating the contract of DeAndre Jordan. You know, we already got those guys on the books.
Well, I'll be here during that time.
I'll be here. Absolutely. Heck yeah.
We're
the concrete ones here, King.
Absolutely,
yes,
man. So, like I said, like just having them tough conversations right now, man, and it's just got to be talked about. It's the end of the season. We got to talk about it. like I said, it just has to be mentioned. Some of these guys that we fall in love with, they just probably won't be around. I know Corey is a fan favorite. Everybody in the city of Detroit loves Corey. He's a champion. Back in 1902, and you're
just something else, King. You're
I
just
know
something else.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be hard to going to miss guys like that. But no, on a serious note, man, this draft has so many. It's so many implications on the draft and free agency. You know what I'm saying? This summer, it's going to tell us everything we need to know. You know what I'm saying? It's going to tell us everything we need to know. And my biggest question of the season obviously has been Jeremy Grant. So once Troy tells us and shows us what his decision is with Jeremy Grant, I feel a lot more comfortable making some of those predictions of some of these guys that'll be on this roster, be around, some guys we could possibly pull in here. But right now, he's the biggest question mark in the city of Detroit. We love what he provides on offense.
Do you still think it's just coming down to the fact that we just don't know where we're going to be in the lottery?
That's what it is, man.
Yeah,
we need these chips to fall.
Yeah,
which by the way, tank generals, we did our job. Cadets, we be proud. We will now get the fruit of our labors, and we will go ahead and get towards the top of the mountain. And listen, man, I do got to say one thing. Everyone that is a Pistons fan that wants Paolo the most, I love you. I want to preface it with that. But let us think critically. Let's be honest with ourselves real quick. Does Paolo Banchero fit the mold of a Detroit Piston the most of this draft class? Because I would argue he doesn't. I think energy-wise, I have similar concerns to Andre Drummond with how he just takes some games seriously and some games not. Again, where was Paolo before the month of March? I still don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I just think they're going to get him if he's available.
If he's available at 3 and we get 3, that's where we're at. Yeah, absolutely. However, again, I get
Kayvon Thibodeau vibes, you know what I'm saying, watching them sometimes. I do. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, where the fuck did you go on defense? Like, what happened? Where did the effort go? You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's the thing. It's for me, it's just I gotta know that you're gonna want to give it your all every single game. I gotta know that when push comes to shove, you're gonna want to make that defensive play when it matters most, because that's why I like Jabari Smith. That's why I like Chet Holmgren. Like, say what you will about those guys, but defense is at the backbone of what they do. And if we're building the Detroit Pistons, that has to be a big part of the equation. Yeah. I know offense is the sexy thing. I know he's got a beautiful package and that he's a playmaker. I get it, because believe me, when I watch him play offense, I get tantalized. I'm not going to lie. So that alongside Kate, I see that fit. It makes sense to me. But again, what's going to win championships?
And that's the frustrating thing, man, because it's not that he can't play defense. It's just sometimes he just decides not to play defense.
Exactly, man.
And, Dwayne Casey, Troy Weaver, over the last 2 years, defense is the mindset. Defense is the mindset. And, I don't know, man. It depends on where the chips fall in this draft. If he's there and we got the number 3 pick, I think we take him. But if we luck up for some reason and get the first pick, oh, damn sure, I think it's either going to be Chet or Jabari Smith.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel about some of the other fans and some of the other people that feel Chet is just too small to play? I don't see him as a center. I see him as a power forward more so.
And we talked about that, in our last stream. He's not going to be checking Joel Embiid and some of these guys in the league. That's not what he's coming here to do. You know what I'm saying? So he can flourish. I gave an example last stream. You look at Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley doesn't have to take the biggest guy on the court every night. He got Afro Thunder and he got Markin and he got other guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he could flourish if we go in free agency. We go get that guy to put with him. You know what I'm saying? Stu is a guy that like to defend the five sometimes. He could fit perfectly, but he's even more of a nightmare on the offensive end.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A pick and roll with Chet Holmgren is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
That's poison right there.
King, I have on several occasions on your channel have gone on tirades and rants in defense of Chet Holmgren.
Yeah,
so
man.
I will save the ears of the people at home who have heard me say this before, and I'll just say he's damn good. And anyone that Detroit would be able to draft at the top of that class is damn good. And they're all gonna be damn good. Like I think this is another really good class. I really do.
Chet as a help defender would be amazing.
I will say,
him with, if you look at Beef Stew and him matching up on the block with those bigs, you know, using his strength and his muscle, and then you got Chet coming over the top with help side defense at 7-1.
With length.
That's gonna lead to a problem for any big. I don't care if it's Embiid or not. He has the length to challenge that shot on the help side.
Now I will say, it is tantalizing to think about a scenario where Detroit brings home Benedict Mathurin during this draft lottery. There is something tantalizing about that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. If we were end up getting him, let's say we get Portland's pick and we get like the 6th pick in the draft to go alongside another top pick, and we get Chet and Benedict Mathurin, or Jabari and Benedict Mathurin. Are you not excited about that?
I'd lose my fucking mind.
Man,
I would literally lose my mind.
I might sell one of my kidneys immediately. like before I get the operation, I might just rip it out myself just so I can go down and ensure I can get season tickets like right then and there. Like we'll have to all pitch in for that crack house right next to the LCA so that we can all like get a key and sleep in there. It's only $3 million. So if we all just sell a couple of our kidneys all together, we can pull in. It's a timeshare thing. We'll talk about it off stream. I think it's a good idea.
And you know, that's what makes me even more excited about the draft, because you know, Troy is a wizard, man. He's a wizard. You know what I'm saying? And this time he actually has some assets to acquire.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So he worked magic out of nothing the first time around. So this time he actually has some assets.
Right.
So
man,
the possibility.
This should definitely be the most exciting offseason for Piston fans in recent history, man. This could very well dictate the next 10 years of the franchise to a certain extent. You don't want to lock yourself in with no bad contract. You don't want to spend the money in a way to where you don't bring back what you need, but you have the money to spend. You can go about it however you want. You have young players that are making a name for themselves. You have everything in place to put together something special.
Last summer we got Batman. This summer we go get Robin.
Yeah. And you know, see, these type of comments right here is what I have a problem with when it comes to Chet, bro. You know, like I said, Chet is not going to be that guy to live in the paint like that. That's not what he's going to be here. Yeah, you got to understand basketball. You know what I'm saying? We're probably going to go in free agency to get another big. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what all the worry is about, bro. He's 7 feet tall against fours. You know what I'm saying? Playing against fours. Fours in this league are not banging and putting people through the rim like that. That's just not what's happening, bro.
This is not 90s basketball, guys. This is position basketball, and you need guys like Chet. You need those type of players that can get to the paint, collapse outside, can challenge shots and recover. That's what he does best.
I mean, how many times do we need to see guys that have worked out despite being skinny, despite being scrawny? Like Giannis?
Right.
Yeah, like Giannis, Rudy Gobert, Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen. I understand that it can give you hesitancy, but if you really think that someone isn't going to be able to succeed in the league, or that his game doesn't translate because of how skinny he is, then you're automatically just ruling him out and not even looking at his game.
Well. We bring in one of the patriarchs. Bravo's been around for a long time. What's going on,
legend?
What's going on, everybody?
Hey there, Bravo.
You just had to jump in here. What did we say? Bravo?
I was listening to you guys talking about Chet or Jabari as the number one pick.
Hey, I will take either one. To be honest, I just have a problem. I'm not gonna say a problem with Banchero. I just have question marks about him defensively, his effort, and that's what we were talking about. On those other two, you're gonna get that effort on both sides of the ball.
King, I swear to God, Paolo might be the best player of the draft. Just take him.
Yeah. What makes you think? What makes you think that though?
Everybody's thinking he's a bust, and a lot of people think he's got a lot of bust potentials, and he's not really that good. Is a number one pick? He's overrated, but he might not be overrated. I think he's a good player. He's a good scorer.
Who are these people? They need to be shot.
Bravo.
I think a lot of people talked about Banchero, that he's not really the best player in the draft, and I can see Jabari is the best player. But hey, if Paolo falls by any means to us, I'd be super happy to have him.
Of course.
Well, I mean, if we got him at 3, if we end up being 3rd overall and we get Paolo, I'm not mad. But again, if you're asking me of the 3, who's the best? Who's the worst defensively? Paolo. Who's the best offensively? I think you can make the argument it might be Paolo. I think Chet has a legitimate case to be in there. I think Jabari has a lot of skills on the offensive end himself. He could certainly make an argument from his ability from off the catch 3-pointing, his rim running ability.
Jabari is 19.
But the thing is, man, again, where was Paolo before March? Seriously, I
think he was good on the first days of the draft when we were talking to him. He was going number 1. And then when the season started, he was a Dukes. He wasn't really that good. In the playoffs, like in the March Madness, he turned out really good player. I think Banchero's Paolo. I think, in my opinion, I still like Paolo. Some people don't like Paolo for some reason. Prefer Jabari or Chet or Ivy over Paolo. I think Paolo is a really good player.
I think Jabari has. I think he has the intangibles to be an all NBA defensive player. I think he has the intangibles. I think if he could develop his ball handling ability, I think he could be a really good offensive player and get average 20 points as well. I think you can make legitimate cases like Jabari. I think he has more. I think he just has more to his game. He is a 2-way player. He plays both ends of the court. Paolo doesn't.
Here's the
King said one thing where I really appreciate and I really like the most what he said in previous videos. He said one thing, if you pay attention to it, King said these players in the draft are not going to be make or break. They're going to be additional good players. Maybe one of them is going to be an excellent good starter, but none of them is like the best top 5 players out of the last draft.
But King's also said
they're complementary pieces to they're part of a puzzle.
They're not franchise changers. They're not guys you go and change your franchise with.
But King also said if we're building the Pistons and we're building the Detroit Pistons, what is the player that is going to fit the mold and the identity of those Pistons? Because there are 2 guys at the top of this draft class that fit that identity from the defensive end.
I got something for him, Sean.
It's a tough question.
So if we're talking Banchero, questions about him on defense, right?
Yeah,
with his efforts. What's the difference between going and get a Banchero when you got Marvin Bagley on your team already?
Yeah.
Well, the difference is we're getting Marvin Bagley at $7 million a year, and we already have a guy like Marvin. He can go out and on the post, he can run, he can be a rim runner. The difference is you don't want to go get 2 Marvin Bagleys on your team if you already have.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, why would you?
Yeah.
You already have that right now.
With all due respect, I think Banchero's skill set is a little different than Marvin Bagley. Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, I think he's more of a perimeter player. He's more of a perimeter player.
What I'm saying is you got another big on your team. You have another
ability to
big on your
create off
team
the
that's not a
dribble.
threat defensively, though. That's what I'm
No,
saying.
no, that's true. I'm just saying his ability to create off the dribble and the way he can somewhat facilitate out of that creation. He got a little playmaking to go with it, man. Banchero, he got obviously. My only thing with Banchero is if you having issues and you're questioning effort in a 30-game college season, how is that going to translate when you're dealing with 82 in the regular season of the NBA? Something about me, I don't like when guys don't show effort. If you have a lack of effort and you're questioning that guy's effort in college, that's only going to maximize when you have to play 3 times as many games.
And
you know
also,
what I'm saying? And that's something that always scares me about certain players.
Yeah,
but
he's
as far
bigger.
as Banchero on the floor is a monster.
Yeah, he's like I said, he's bigger on the offensive end, probably definitely more talented. But like I said, it depends on what he's going to give you on defense. You know what I'm saying? We have a bunch of bigs right now that can do things on offense, but on the defensive end, they're a disaster.
Right. And what I would argue is, and the reason why I have Paolo at 3 is because with those other 2 bigs in that draft that are available, if you get towards the top, defense is not even a question. You know that they can defend. You know they're going to try to defend. As far as Paolo, again, offensively, I love the fit with him and Cade. However, if you're asking me culturally where I see Paolo being happiest and where I see him being a fit, to me, he just seems like a guy that wants to go be in Houston. That just seems like a fit for him. Me, again,
I don't want another Blake Griffin. You know what I'm saying?
Like again, like to me, like if and if you're talking about those guys that aren't going to be franchise changers, or if they're not going to be the guys that are go out and affect your team, one of the things that's going to really matter then is what they're doing on defense, because they're not going to need to get the ball at all times. So if we're talking about that, I would argue that's where Jabari, that's where Chet fit in.
Kojo,
I'm coming back next year.
Corey. Also, reminder.
So, Kojo, you coming back next season, huh? If I see you in my arena, I'm gonna break your legs. Do you understand me? Get away from my team. Get out of here.
Hold on, I'll give you. You got the Satan lights. Let me get you the Satan voice real quick.
That's a funny one.
You took the time. Why did you take the time to do the name, the photo, everything? Y'all just came in here purposely to mess with me, huh? It's all right. It's cool, man.
This man made a CoreyJoseph@gmail.com.
Nah, man. But on a serious note, when you're looking at these guys, I'm like I said, I'm not angry with either one of them. You literally just cannot go wrong. But there's only one player that I have a question mark when it comes to basketball on the defensive side of the ball, and that's Banchero. Now, listen, let's not get it twisted. I have questions about Chet. I do. Yeah. I really do. But that's why I went with Jabari first. I don't have questions about Jabari on offense. I don't have questions about him on defense. Plus, he's 18 years old. Yeah. So I don't have those questions. So if we get somewhere around number 1 or 2 and he's available, damn it, that's my guy.
He's the most. He might be the most stable. He might be the most surefire
in big moments in games. I've seen him. You know what I'm saying? I actually seen Jabari show up. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like out of those 3 guys, he checks the most boxes for me. That's just that, man.
I'd agree.
Let me tell you something. I argue, guys, about one point. You guys are talking about defensive player. Okay, we need a defense. I come back to the same point. What does the Piston need the most? The Piston needs scoring. Need a guy who can put it all on the floor and score. Besides Case Cunningham, Case Cunningham is the number 1 option. We don't have a number 2 option right now. Who's the number 2 option on the team? Tell me. None.
Well, Sadiq Bey.
Jeremy Grant is not a number 2 option. Jeremy Grant is the best starter on a, let's say, a best role player, best starter on an NBA franchise team. He's not He can't be an all-star. He can't be like a third starter on our team.
I think where we fall short. I think where we fall short with this team is we try to make them other teams in this league where we giving these guys numbers on number one and or he's number two or he's number three. K is the leader of this team.
Yes.
The other guys on any given night, those other guys can give it to you. You know what I'm saying? They can go and get it for you. So it's not score option 1, score option 2.
Yeah, but King, so
that's not even how they play.
Well, here's
it's
the
not
thing.
like we're doing it right. We don't have like Jeremy Grant. They're giving the ball to Jeremy. He's taking the initiative and becoming the number one option. He's not a number one option. He's not a number two option.
Jeremy did that.
Who's arguing?
The only time that Jeremy did that
this
season. The only time Jeremy did that this season is when everybody was struggling towards the beginning of the season. That's the only time he did that.
What
I don't think anyone's arguing he's the number one option.
What I'm trying to is, if you put Banchero in, he's going to be automatic number two option on this team.
I mean, Jabari could also be the number two option.
Banchero in, and you think he overtakes?
Jabari is not like a playmaker of a Paolo Banchero. He's not a good dribbler as Paolo. Paolo is a really excellent dribbler. He know how to score. He can take you down the post.
So you put Banchero over Bay that easy, huh?
I think Banchero is just a bigger than Bay. Definitely, he's going to be the number two option.
But if he's not scoring, what does he give you?
He needs to show me.
If he has an off night, what does he give you?
What is it?
If Paolo Banchero doesn't score, what does he give you? Nothing.
I mean, a secondary ball handler. He can't ball handle.
Everybody can ball handle.
Not as good as Paolo. Out of those in the draft, at the top of the draft, besides Ivy.
Is he really a ball handler though? That's looking to create for
the guy around him all the
time.
Listen, here's the thing. It's not like we're gonna have Banchero with the ball coming up the court like Blake Griffin or Kelly Olynyk. That's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna be out there as a support guy, just like everybody else. He's not gonna be a guy at the top of the key dribbling and pounding the basketball. That's not what he's gonna do. Not especially not in Casey's system. That's not gonna happen.
I think Paolo can be an offensive player. Like, he can be a threat for us if you put him a power forward with Kate Cunningham and Sadiq Bey. He'd be really a much better offensive team than having a Jeremy Grant. And instead, Jeremy Grant give you defense. I understand with this team missing defense, but if you put Banchero, he's going to be an automatic second choice on this team.
If he goes out and tries on a night,
you just told me with a straight face that he's going to be a better scoring option than Jeremy Grant. That's what you're telling me.
If you put him in the future, yes, potentially he can be better than Jeremy Grant. We don't know yet, but potentials is true.
But again, though, that still doesn't change. If he doesn't give you scoring, what does he give you? And is he going to go out and try every single night? That's the thing we haven't seen.
He can ball handle and he can pass. I've seen him. He knows how to pass too. He can play a role similar to Julius Randle. He's a big dude.
Holmgren could pass too.
Holmgren is
damn good.
I think where Banchero would best benefit our team and I think in the dribble handoffs with Casey's system, that's somewhere where he would come right in and be able to orchestrate and utilize his skill set and his dribbling and playmaking skills within that nuance and within that facet of the game.
Right, within that system. These guys are not coming in just getting the ball and being that guy that's just going to be pounding the back. They're going to fit in the system just like any fucking body else.
I understand what Bravo's saying though. Bravo's bringing the idea to if he's the best scorer and he has that scoring touch, you're better off taking a player that can deliver in one specific area. Yeah, he might not be the best defender and things of that nature, but if he can deliver that scoring punch that you're going to need on a night-to-night basis, he's going to be a serviceable option. Obviously, that's why he's a projected top pick in this draft.
But
they all can.
Cade and Banchero. Nobody will stop us in this. Cade and Banchero pick and roll. Amazing.
So how do you stop Cade? How do you stop a Cade and Smith pick and roll situation?
How do you stop a Cade and Chet pick and roll situation?
Jabari is not.
Jabari would shoot he already has a depth jump shot. So it's literally, how do you stop any one of those three in the pick and roll situation?
So King, Jabari and Chet, both slim bodies. They're not good screeners. They're not going to screen the ball for you as good as Banchero. I'm telling you.
Buff?
Paolo's he just has thick legs.
Yeah,
man.
it's a bigger dude.
Leg.
He can screen.
But still,
barely.
Still, and but Jabari, first of all, Jabari, I feel like moves better than Banchero. And at the same time, he's 18. He's 18.
Yeah, that's absolutely the Jabari is number one option for me. There's no question about that.
Okay.
But
okay.
I don't. Let me
think
be honest.
Jabari. I mean,
The
that's my
NBA
number
is not going to
option
give us
too.
number
If I
one
had a
pick
choice
again.
with the number one pick, I'm taking Jabari over all of them.
Well,
yeah.
Well, again, it's all right. It's not the NBA giving us or not giving us the number one pick. It is a lottery system.
Hey, listen. Last year we said there's no way we were getting the number one pick,
and got it.
Right.
Yeah.
We said the exact same thing. There's no way in hell we was getting number one pick last draft, and it happened. We just need Ben Wallace there. That's all.
Listen. We know what happened when he pulled his suit out of the closet. You understand me? You know what I mean?
Yes,
so, man, like I said, it's with these three guys. To me, it's just not. It's no argument.
I don't think you lose with any of them.
No, you just don't, man. Yeah, I just don't see how. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Paolo, like I said, Paolo will play defense. It's just sometimes a lot of people just feel like he should give a little bit more effort. That's something that's coachable.
Yep.
That is not, it's coachable, especially with Dwayne Casey. It's coachable. You got Cade in your team. Cade is going to inspire players.
And whoever comes in, they are going to have to earn their spot in the rotation.
Yeah.
Whoever comes in, they are going to have to. They are going to have to come in and earn their spot in the starting five, because if they're not playing well out the gate, it could make the argument that they could slide on that bench. But all right, guys, I think I'm going to head out for the night. But thanks for having me, King.
Right, man.
Bravo, Deshaun. It was a pleasure, man.
Pleasure.
Subscribe from F Court. Follow me on Twitter. All that good stuff. Have a good night, everybody.
All right,
go.
Peace, man.
Peace, man.
Yeah, man. So, like I said, it with either one of them dudes, man, it's just like
what is that?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, what do you guys think Pistons is gonna really? And this is I definitely gonna pick Jabari over Paolo. Don't get me wrong. I'm trying to justify what the Pistons do if we drop.
I think we get 3.
We got 3.
I think that's where we end up. It's somewhere like 3 or 4.
Okay.
What about you? I think we might end up with either the second or the third. I don't see us getting the number one. I see us probably second or third. And I actually, if with the third pick, I could see us landing Banchero. I would see Chet and Jabari being off the board at that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important that we have built culture. We bring in guys with good character. We done did some of the right things that don't really show up in no games or on the stat sheet. But when we talk about a guy like Banchero, when you bringing in him, you have Sadiq Bey, you have Killian Hayes, you have Isaiah Stewart, you have Cade Cunningham, and they done already built something to where they're not going to bring in another guy younger than them, less experienced than them, and not make sure he's playing the right way. That's something we seen it tonight with our G League guys. You know what I'm saying? That culture that we're building, it translates right to the floor. Them guys come out and fight, man. We're not going to let nobody put on that jersey next year and get some minutes, man. That ain't about it.
It's gonna be like our old Pistons teams, bro. Listen, this is what we do. We go out, we give effort. Otherwise, you can get your ass whooped in this locker room.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Period, man. Because like I said, everybody when they get in that game, they go at it. You know what I'm saying? They give it. And that's the type of mindset that Dwayne Casey said from the very beginning of the season. That's what he was trying to do. He wanted to give us that defensive raw dog type of mentality. And that's what you've seen on display the second half of the season after we dealt with, a lot of the injuries and everything else, man. Even though we still have some guys out, that we know what that was motivated by. But, we built that identity. We have an identity, you know what I'm saying? And they're going to go out and get their guy. Troy's always going to go and get his guy. That's why I said I think guys like Diallo stick around, right. Especially with all the noise we heard in the first half of the season about Killian Hayes. Still on the defensive end and doing everything else, he was fine. But Troy knew how long it was going to take for him to catch up offensively. So that's why he took that shot in the first place. So, there's a defensive mindset that has been built with this team.
Right.
So that's why I said, if we fall to 3 and a guy like Banchero is around, I think we take him because I'm confident that our coaching staff, they can definitely make him play a little bit better on the defensive end. I think they can motivate him. I think Cade and guys like that around him, Sadiq Bey, Stewart, I think he'll have the right surroundings to be a little bit better on that end of the basketball as far as effort. Right. Because he can play defense. Let's not get it twisted. He can.
It's when he's engaged, when he's locked in, he's a monster. Yeah. When he's locked in, he's a monster, man, on both ends of the floor. And I think that's something that makes the fans, it makes people like us that, you know, cover teams. That's what kind of get at us, because we see the potential. Yeah. We see what he can bring, man. And you just want to see that more consistently. You know what I'm saying? And that's about it. That's the only knock on his game.
I've been consistent in saying this. You got to listen to the details of what Troy Weaver says. He's looking for something for the long haul. He's not looking for the right away thing. For instance, Killian Hayes, once again, how many teams are looking for a pass first point guard? You know what I'm saying? Look at what the Lakers was looking for before they got that train wreck over there that they got. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that guy that's a pass first guy on your team where you can put him in, run the offense, and then on the defensive end, you see what you get. You know what I'm saying? So there's pieces being put in place with this team, and there's a certain type of, I would say, team that Troy, well, it's not even a certain type. He's trying to give you the Pistons. He's just trying to give you the Pistons. So like I said, he's going to get his guy. No matter what we think, Troy's going to get his guy. When we love Isaiah Stewart, but let's not act like, you know, the city was all smiles and giggles when we drafted him. Right. You know, a lot of people were upset. Like, who? Like, we drafted who?
Yeah.
And that's because Isaiah is not a guy that plays pretty. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't go and you know, dunk people through the rim. You know what I'm saying? He's rugged. He's a Detroit Piston type of player. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to go and get his guys, man. And we just have to face that. You know what I'm saying? So when these lottery balls, however they fall, is going to tell us everything we need to know.
Yeah. So I'm not concerned about that second or third pick. My concern if we drop to 4 or 6. You know, I won't be surprised if we drop to 6 all the way down.
We dropped to 4 or 6. I need Durant somewhere in that conversation.
Yeah. That's just bad. It's really bad if they drop us. I don't think they'll do it again this year, but it's possible. If we fall to 6, the options are going to be, I don't know. So
there's still a lot of really good players around that 6 area.
But you pick guards in there.
Like, you're probably looking at a Keith Murray, Benedict. I think right outside of obvious the top 4, including Ivy in that conversation with those bigs. I think from about 5 to 7 or 8, you're gonna get some quality talent, man.
Yes.
Somebody that can come right in and be a key piece to a puzzle. You know, be a piece to your organization. I think this is the perfect with what we did last year with the way that draft was just loaded top to bottom with potential all-stars, potential Hall of Fame type talent. I think this draft here is the perfect complement, man. I think it's the perfect group of guys that if you got a good piece last year, you can double down this year and add a piece that's going to come right behind them and fit their game.
So let's look at some of these scenarios real quick because we got to really, you know, when I first got caught wind of the Portland situation, man, I instantly started to think about it. Damian Lillard. They need to get pieces for Damian Lillard. They don't need draft picks. So I think that is something that can truly and realistically happen if there's any type of merit to it.
I think it does happen. Ken. Yeah. I was looking into some things and I heard some rumors coming out of Portland that they had a deal on the table for Josh Hart. They had something on the deal for Hart and the Pelicans pick. Obviously, it foiled. It never came to fruition. It didn't happen. But I could see that trade coming right back around once we understand and know exactly what that pick is with the complications of it being protected 8 through 15 or something where they only got it. That's something we ain't really we're not going to throw Jeremy Grant for a dice roll.
Right.
Once you solidify yourself, once you know where your picks are, now we could talk turkey. Now we're in a position where we can actually sit down and negotiate a deal. And I think that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think they're looking at having 2 possible lottery picks this year with the Pelicans in their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With absolutely, the trade exception.
Right.
With the $20 million trade exception that just so happens to be enough to cover Grant's bill.
Yep. like I said, it's a match made in heaven, to be honest. It really is, man, because like I said, Troy has his requirement for a guy like Jeremy Grant, and they're a team that can meet that requirement.
Yes,
and they're
sir.
a team that need Jeremy Grant. You know what I'm saying? So it's a match made in heaven. So if it happens, I honestly wouldn't be surprised.
No.
So
I definitely see it, possibly happening on draft night. And another thing to go with that, I think not only does it fit for us, it fits for them. It's a match made in heaven on both ends. It's also a situation where it's not us throwing Jeremy Grant away to a team that's not going to really, we're not sending him out here to be with a bunch of losers. We're giving him an opportunity to go somewhere and have success alongside a good friend of his in Dame Lillard. Those type of moves, man, is key. When we talking about rebuilding this franchise and we talk about doing things the right way, when you have an opportunity to do right and show integrity, those ripples, you're dealing with agents, you're dealing with players. These guys talk in the offseason, and those are the type of things that bring continuity, bring integrity to an organization, man. That's what we need, and that's what Troy Weaver has delivered so far.
Absolutely, man.
Can you talk about these options for 5 and 6? What we do? Who do we pick if we go to 5 and 6? What do you think?
It was a comment I seen that I agree with. Let me pull it back for you guys real quick, man, because I totally agree. He has most of the names on there that
this guy, Shady Sharp and here. Murray.
Right here.
Yeah, this one. Yep.
Right there. That list right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Yeah. Like I said, I'm good with any of those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
just don't get me AJ Griffin. I'm not a fan, man. Stanley Johnson.
Right. Hey, man. Listen, like I said, any of those guys that he has right there, those are all the same guys that I instantly thought of.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, I love, and by the way, I love Williams. I really do, man. I enjoy watching Williams for Duke, man. But yeah, Duran is and Keegan Murray were two of the first two names I thought of when we started talking about that situation. So yeah, Duran fills a gap that we need. He really does. He fills a gap that we need. So this draft is really it's not, like I said, this draft is not guys that are franchise changers, but it has a lot of guys that are going to be really good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be deep and really, really good pieces, role guys. Right. So, like I said, I just don't see where we go wrong in this draft. And, obviously this draft is going to affect free agency as well. You know what I'm saying? It's going to affect free agency, man. We need to really be looking at guys like Mitchell Robinson. What do you guys think of Mo Bamba? Because, Orlando's going to be one of these top teams. Obviously. So they go out and get one of these forwards, one of these guys. Mo Bamba probably end up being an odd man out in that situation. What would you think of bringing somebody like Mo Bamba?
I think it would be a good goal, depending on what the price tag is. I mean, obviously, you're not going to spend too much on him. You know what I'm saying? But if you can get him right around that 10, maybe 12 million a year type deal, you know what I'm saying? I think he'll be more than serviceable next to K. But personally, I'd rather get Mitch. I'd rather take Big Mitch.
I'd rather take Mitch. Yeah. To me,
that's just me.
It's the closest thing to good Drummond. You know what I'm saying? Good Drummond.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I take Mitch Robb all day long, man. But there is some other guys we got to look at as far as these restricted guys that we got to consider, man, because these teams are, like I said, these teams are willing to let these dudes walk away. Hold on, let me see. I'm pulling this comment right here. Okay, so as far as the Portland situation, we mentioned earlier that players do talk. And we seen during the game, after the game, the conversation with Nurkic and them, and Jeremy Grant. So if that deal goes down, if everything falls in place, we got to talk next season playoff predictions because, we go out, we get two guys in the first round to add to this roster. We go in free agency, we add to this roster. do we progress past that play-in type of team? Do we go into the 6 and 7s type of conversation? Is that something that's realistic to you guys?
I think it is. I think it's definitely realistic. I don't see us moving past maybe 6. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I say that is because obviously the East has gotten a lot better this year, and those teams will be back next year. And but when you adding in key pieces, Cade Cunningham in year 2, obviously, he had a good year as a rookie, but there was some room for improvement in his game as well. And I expect him to take those next steps. You know what I'm saying? So he already shows how he controls tempo, getting him another legitimate lob threat, a more starting caliber player instead of a Bagley. I like Bagley, but I think he's more suited for the bench. And I think getting him, like I said, that Mitchell Robinson type, bringing him in, that's going to change the dynamics, especially when you solidify the other positions with some shooting, whether it's a Jabari or a Keegan Murray in the draft, wherever you go to find your shooter next year. I think that could push us right into about a 6th place.
Okay. All right, Bravo, what do you think?
I'm not really that high on this team yet. I'm being more realistic, to be honest. I've been watching the Pistons for a while. I think our realistic goal, is to reach the 8th spot. I mean, the play-in tournament. If we can make that spot, that will be a great goal achievement. But we might not even get there, to be honest, because a lot of East is strong. So let's face it. I wouldn't be surprised if we end up another year very close to the play-in tournament and not making it. It'll be very good if we make it, though.
The reason why I say that is because I just got a feeling that a lot of these teams are getting ready to face some breakups after this round of playoffs. I think it's going to be a lot of breakups going on, possibly some guys moving back west. So, like I said, these playoffs are very important for us too, as far as this Eastern Conference, man. So, like I said, I don't think Boston is going to want to give it another year of trying this thing. I think they finally split the Tatum and Brown situation over there. They already threatened to do it. So I don't know, man. Some of these teams are definitely going to look different.
Yeah.
Some teams are just going to go and elect to say, hey, I think we need to refresh or restart. So
I think it all depends on the free agency and the trade scenario. If we make a big trade, I think this team is going to break out season for sure. The thing I think we should do, I want the Pistons to do like something crazy. Not trade for a star player. Try for a young star player. Go after a guy like Donovan Mitchell. The Jazz is trying to get him out of here, finding the best scenario. Here's what I would do if I'm the Pistons. I'd offer a couple of first-round picks. Offer this year's pick, maybe future pick, and sacrifice someone out of this team and get Donovan Mitchell. If they want Sadiq Bey, I hate to do it, but
I don't think it works.
It does work because the Jazz would be rebuilding if they.
No, it works. It works contractually, but who's going to be number one?
So, King, the Jazz are willing to trade Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell is reported he wants to go to Miami or the New York Knicks, but none of those.
He's that guy. That's what I'm saying, Bravo. Donovan's that guy.
Yeah.
Kay's that guy.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? You know what I'm saying?
Because the Jazz have picks. We have picks and we have young players.
I don't think.
No, that's not what I'm saying, Bravo.
He's speaking on the picks. I think he's more talking about styles. He's talking about pecking order in the playing.
This is Cade's team, and then you go out and get Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like that's friction. You asking for
almost a conflict of interest right there because
it's
like come right in and he's going to demand him. He's going to demand.
You drafted me to be the guy, and then you go and get Donovan Mitchell, who obviously is going to want to be the guy.
I think they work perfect together, man.
There's no. I don't see how that works.
They're both primary ball handlers.
Yes,
they're both heavy usage guys that demand the basketball to really play to their full potential. And
it has to be a guy.
Look at when we dealing with this free agent target and trades and things, we have to find the players that best fit around Cade Cunningham.
That's what I'm saying. K is that guy, so we can't go and get that guy.
But I love the idea. Now, I'll say this, Bravo. Utah could be a trade partner, but what do y'all think about the other side of that spectrum? They're trying to break up him and Gobert. You might be able to get a Gobert.
No, so listen.
You see what I'm saying? Now he might fit more with Cade Cunningham than Mitchell Mitchell.
That's true.
That's a bite-sized contract, though, bro.
No,
listen.
I don't need. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying within the Utah thing, if they break up, Gobert fits more with what we would want to do.
Yeah, that's right.
I wouldn't want to deal with that. I would try to keep our thing where we at. I would like to do what we're doing now, stay where we at, and build this the right way. I don't see no short-term fix being the answer.
Yeah, but listen, the Utah Jazz are trying to get as many picks as they can from the Knicks or Miami. None of those teams have picks to offer for Donovan Mitchell. We do have some picks. Look, we have these picks. We're not going to do anything for them in the future if we don't really make the right move. And making a right move is getting a guy caliber like this kind of caliber player. We need someone in Detroit like a young star. That's what we need. A Booker type. A Booker.
We can't.
Donovan Mitchell.
Listen,
hey, get me those players.
Donovan. No way. No way we can do Donovan. No way. And no way I want Gobert in his contract either. So that's why his contract is why I say Donovan's the odd man out. I don't want neither. I want Mitchell when we had a chance to get him, but now we have Cade. There's no room for those two to be primary guys on a team together. I don't think we're the team for them. I just don't.
Yeah, but Cade can play a point guard too. He's amazing. He can pass it. So Donovan Mitchell is not a point guard.
Donovan Mitchell runs that team over there. He's the guy. You know what I'm saying? He's basically Cade. He's that guy over there.
I'm just throwing an example. We need to go after these kind of players.
Why do we got to do it now? Why do we got to do that now?
Because if you really ask me, what does this pick like next year's pick? What is that going to add to us? Nothing.
What are we so now? Okay, what are we rushing him for? What are we rushing about?
If you get me a guy like DeAndre Ayton, a guy like Booker, a guy like Donovan Mitchell, now it is the time to cash in on those picks so that you can have the team instantly better for the next few years. Because next year pick or the year after, it's not going to help a lot.
So you want something that's for the next few years. That ain't what Troy's trying to do. He ain't trying to get something to be good for a couple years, man.
No,
you know what I'm saying? And like I said, going out and just throwing the bank at guys to add some guys to this team because they look good on NBA 2K, that ain't going to get it together. We need to continue doing what we're doing. Go in the draft first. Yeah. And then when we're ready, then we go in free agency and do what we got to do. We need to do what Phoenix did. We need to do what Golden State did. They developed those guys, and then they went and got those guys, those Kevin Durant's and all of those guys. You know what I'm saying? It's not our time yet.
Right.
There's no reason to rush it.
That's just my personal opinion, King. You like it? We're beautiful, man. Watch a lot of Piston fans get angry if this team doesn't make that play-in tournament or playoff in a couple of years from now. That'll be so infuriating because that'll be doing nothing for this team. You gotta make the right move or something.
Bravo. Fuck the fans, man. They'll come back. Trust me. Listen, the 2004 Pistons, this fan base wasn't behind that team before Rasheed Wallace. Our fans are a bunch of bandwagoners, man. They'll come once the team gets there. Troy needs to focus on what Troy is doing. Screw what the fans are going to get mad at. They're always going to be mad about something anyway. Screw that. Build it the right way. Take your time. Yes, do it. Do things when they
is what we're looking for
done.
Out of this.
Yeah, do it when it needs to be done, man. Because like I said, we just got out of year one. We just got out of year one of the development stage. Now we're just not making the push to be in the playoffs. We're not there yet to go and get the free agents. When we get in the playoffs and be a stalemate there, then you go get the guys that's going to take you to championship level.
Right, take you over the hump.
There yet.
But let me tell you something, King. No free agents would want to come to Detroit. You gotta have to trade them for them. This is what happens. Not a lot of free agent star players want to come here. Let's give you the true hurt hurting fact about Detroit Pistons.
In the past, I would agree with that. We have a different type of roster this time. We have Cade Cunningham on this team. So once he like I said, Cade is going to be that dude. He's already showing you that in his rookie season. He's going to make people want to come here and win. You hear what these other athletes are already saying about him in his rookie season. They're going to want to come and be a part of that if they want to win. We never had that experience here before because we never had that Cade Cunningham guy except Grant Hill.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So we never had those type of guys. We out here with, bro, I don't even want to start going over these old names because we do it every stream. We know what we had on this team. You know what I'm saying? We out here with Josh Smith, Moose Monroe, and Drummond. You know what I'm saying? So this is
wondering why we can't get free agents to come.
Right. Like nobody coming to play with these dudes.
Right.
But you got Cade Cunningham on your team where these other athletes, they know, they see what Cade is going to be. They see the Sadiq Bays. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, let these guys get their opportunity to get there first. Right. And then we go and we be concerned with going to get them guys.
At the moment, we don't have another option but to build. But look, I'm a huge rookie player. I'm a huge rookie guy. I've been scouting for more than 5 years. I know this team is doing really well right now with Troy Weaver, and this is what I want us to do. But eventually, like I'm telling you, you got to make a move.
Yeah, just not now.
Now, maybe if the chance opens, why not? If a guy like Donovan Mitchell, I'm not talking about him specifically. If a guy like him is available, you got to think about your options.
Yeah, and also you have to think about you don't want to give up too much to get him either. No. Look at the Sixers right now with their stupid asses.
Yeah, no, of course not.
They gave up the most important people that they had on this team, and they went and got hurt, and now they're going to suffer because of it. Yes, now you're going to have to eventually blow this thing up again around Embiid. That's where it's headed. I'm telling you now.
Yeah, they ain't not winning. They ain't finna do
no. They're not about to win nothing, man. It's a wrap. They're not deep enough to win nothing, man. These other teams, they're built different. You know what I'm saying? They're built better. They're not deep enough. You, to me, right now, you look worse than what you were last season, to be honest, because like I said, you gave up the wrong pieces. Yeah. You just did. And you can't, Embiid going out giving you 50 points ain't enough. That ain't enough. Tobias is not, bro, that, like I said, they can fucking forget it. They can fucking forget it. They're a playoff team, fine. But you're just going to be a playoff team. That's another team that's like that, which a lot of people might not agree with. To me, it's Boston. You're not about to win shit. You know what I'm saying? Boston, you need to go in a different direction. Y'all been needing a solid big there for years, and you've done nothing about it. Your answer was Al Horford at one time.
Right.
You need that guy in the paint over there in Boston. You had opportunities to get him, and you didn't do it. These teams don't even understand how to build a roster to be that team to win in the East. They're literally just going out signing guys. I don't know. I like I said, I need a full team. I need more than just this superstar player and then another guy to go with him, and then we don't got shit after that. I need a team. You know what I'm saying? I want the team concept, what we've won with here in the East. That's what I want. That's just me personally. I'm not bedazzled by all the pretty names. Our number one guy is going to be that pretty name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not worried about going out and getting those dudes. Build the correct team that fits together for me. I need fits. You know what I'm saying? Right. I need the pieces to fit together, the components to go together. You can have two, great players. You know, you can go out and trade getting these big names, but I've warned people for years and years and years about names, man, and they just don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? These names just have not been successful. You have to build a team like a Golden State did, like the Suns did. You have to build them. This ain't no LeBron type of situation where you can just go and say, hey, let's go get all my buddies, and then we go to some team together. That ain't this situation. That ain't what we gonna do.
Yeah, just a disclaimer, King. I'm not trying to trade the team. I'm not trying to rebuild the team. This is me. I have been watching this team for a while, and I'm a huge rebuilding guy. You know me. I was rooting for this rebuild long time ago. I've been watching rookies. I've been scouting. We do my show with DSA Above the Rim. I used to do the show, but I'm just being realist. At some point, this rebuild has to advance. At some point, you can't just keep tanking. You can't just sit at this situation.
No, the tanking is done now.
Better.
The tanking is done now. We're done at the tanking point. This is it. There's no more tanking.
Yeah.
So we're going into phase 2. We're about to go into phase 2, which is, first of all, get to the playoffs. That's phase 2. And then phase 3 is when you become a perennial playoff team. That's where you go and get those guys that's going to take you to the next level. We're not there yet. We're still at step 2. So once we get past step 2, then I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no words for you. I ain't got no argument for you. If we can go and get the right guy to bring it here, and it costs us a few guys, fine. Like I said, we've seen that on both championship teams where we just had to go and get certain people. You know, Adrian Dantley had to get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? So I get it, but we just ain't at that point.
So let's go on next topic. What do you guys think of the center? Which center we should go after besides Mitchell Robinson?
Like I said, most of them they restricted, man. So
how about if we go after like other like older veteran centers?
I don't want no more old people, man. I'm tired of that, man. I'm tired of old folks on this team. Everybody
not old. Let's get Andre Drummond.
That'll never happen, man. The way they did him, you know what I'm saying? I can see if they traded him.
I'm just kidding. Hey, don't take me serious. I'm just
kidding. But seriously, Drummond standing in Brooklyn, bro. He fits with what they do. They have the players that fit with him. We have players now that fit with him, but Brooklyn has what Drummond needs. He needs those guys.
That's the right fit. He's gonna resign where he at and stay at home. He from the area anyway. Mount Vernon kid.
Yep, absolutely. Dead ass, B. So you know, huh? I'm past that point. Not now. Not now. It's too late for that. Ayton is not realistic to me. I think Ayton. I will say what happens in the playoffs. I'll say that. I'm gonna wait until the playoffs are done before I give you that judgment. But Ayton to me is like a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? Not as a player. I'm talking about he's the unicorn as far as the guys that you go and throw some money at and it actually works. I don't think it's going to happen. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I brung up a guy like Mo Bamba. I brung up some Mitchell Robinsons. I definitely think that we should go. Now, I got to ask you two because I haven't had a chance to ask you two. We do need veteran guards on this team. Corey Joseph, Magruder, those names are out the window for me. What do you think of a guy like Trey Burke?
Interesting.
Connections with John Beilein. John Beilein had him playing the best basketball that he's ever played. And at this stage of his career, he's a little bit more consistent now. So what do you think as having him as one of those veteran guys that you can have coming off that bench?
Interesting idea. And it was not, I would imagine it would not cost you a lot either to get him.
No.
Oh, yeah.
It won't cost you a lot. That's why I say I'm looking for guys that you can add to this roster that ain't going to cost you a bankroll.
See, I'm with you on that, King. I actually did an article on Piston Powered about that exact thing. The three least expensive vets that we could bring in. And I didn't have Trey Burke on my list, but those were the type of players I was looking at. I actually had Brent Forbes as somebody that I thought would fit in well with us. But Trey Burke, I see him. He could be he's not going to cost you nothing. So it would be one of those things where you're not going to pay much. You can't lose. You know what I'm saying? He going to give you some productivity in whatever minutes and capacity you use him in.
Yeah.
So,
he's going to play harder. He's going to be extra motivated.
He's going
to be extra motivated.
Definitely motivated.
You know who I like? People don't like him. I still like this guy who used to play for us, Reggie Bullock. He can bring it all over. He's still really a good veteran. He's a good really player. if we bring him back on a low contract, I'd be super happy with Reggie Bullock.
What does this contract look like in the first place?
I don't remember really. So, but that's an example. I'm just throwing an example. Malik Beasley, he's going to be expensive. He's going to be one of those players who's going to cost a lot of money. But Reggie
John Wall needs to stay away from my team, Trevor. I'm sorry.
John
Wall's going back to Houston next season.
We don't want him. He did just say that he was accepting his player option. He was going to go ahead and opt in for that $47 million.
Right. Gary Harris can't stay healthy. I don't want Gary Harris in the league.
What about this kid from the Philadelphia 76ers? He's I think he's free agent, but I'm not sure. Matisse Thybulle. I like Matisse Thybulle, man. I think he's going to be a free agent soon, either this year or next year.
He all defense, ain't he? I don't see Philly letting him get away, man. He's all defense. He's a monster, man, as far as what he brings on the defensive table for him. So I don't see Philly letting him get away too much.
Yeah, he's a restricted too. I agree with you.
Right. I could see them doing whatever it takes to get him back.
And for everybody that's in the comments, man, I appreciate how much you guys have been engaged in these conversations. Keep bringing those names out in the comments, man. I'm interested to see who some of these guys are that you may want the Pistons to maybe consider bringing in here. Because right now we're talking about bringing in another veteran point guard. And, you know, we see names in the comments. I see you, Diego, Derrick Rose. That's not happening. He's not coming back here. Patrick Beverly, Isaiah Thomas. Before Isaiah Thomas did, go where he go, I did say, man, I would rather watch him than Corey Joseph. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But the thing with Isaiah Thomas is also another problem. Can't stay healthy. And I think he's past that point where we add him to a team like ours, man. So he's past that point now.
You know somebody, he's not necessarily the oldest free agent, but somebody else that I would consider looking to in free agency would be Malik Monk. I think he showed the way he played alongside LeBron, and the way he showed that he can play off the ball. He's shooting the 3 ball a lot better than when he first came out of college. He's almost, I believe he's right around 40% now. And he could bring that athleticism, that shooting touch, a little bit of youth. And he could be one of those guys you might get for a cheap dollar too.
Why does this name keep coming up? Why?
Oh, dude,
why do we as Pistons fans? Why do we love taking long shots on guys with injury histories, bro? What is this stigma here in Detroit?
Rubio?
We always go and get some guy that's coming from an injury or a guy that has no business still even being around. What is this? No, he just tore his ACL. I don't want him here. Let him play somewhere first.
Piston fans, we do not have Arnie Kander no more. We cannot take these guys. We cannot take these guys and revitalize their careers no more like we used to do with the McDyses, the Dana Barrows, the Chris Webbers, and all these different guys that we used to bring them in when they was on their last legs and revitalize them for a couple years. Arnie Kander, he's no longer around. We can't afford these guys on one legs no more. If you don't know who Arnie Kander is, go Google.
Yeah.
Even this Golden State Warriors free agent restricted. What's his name? He's a Michigan guy. I forgot his name.
Yeah, but he's going to cost a lot of money.
Not for Golden State Warriors. Maybe he's going to cost a lot for us, but
no, I'm saying for a team to pull him away.
Why do you think so?
Man, what?
You're going to have to pay like
you know what he's been doing?
How much do you think?
Jordan Poole? Man, shit.
Yeah. How much do you think he's going to cost?
Whew. What did I see? I seen what was that?
18 million, 15 million.
I could see him getting a Brunson bag.
Yeah, maybe 15, 18 million. We can lure him out of Golden State Warriors, pay him 19 million. He might come here. But I don't think we should pay him 19.
Listen, man, that kid's gonna cost a lot of money. I'm just gonna say that. A lot of money. I keep seeing DiVincenzo pop up in the comments. What do y'all think about somebody like DiVincenzo? Because obviously it looked like he's probably about to depart.
Yeah, he seems to be real disgruntled out there with whatever's going on with Sacramento.
Sacramento's stupid, being the stupidest
right.
team
Same
in
thing
the league.
that happened with Bagley and everybody else that played there in the last 20 years. So
you trade Halliburton. What the fuck is wrong with them? Dog.
They moving backwards, man, and then it start this year. We know that. We know that I don't know what they got going on out there. I try to stay far away from Sacramento Kings basketball as much as I can.
Yeah, they
But
are horrible.
DiVincenzo, good player, man. I think, he might fit into what we doing. I just don't see him really moving the needle in any way. I don't really see him really being a key contributor, really moving us in the right direction. But he could fill a jersey.
It's and like I said, just looking at this comments just speaks to how bad this damn free agency is this year, man. It just really the pickings are just slim this year, man. Dennis Schroeder, hell no. Joshua, I don't want Dennis Schroeder, man. Dennis Schroeder played himself, by the way. But no, drama queen, little Dennis, no, I'm good.
We need high IQ guys, and he showed he's not that brightest.
Goodness, that guy. Let's see. We got Miles Bridges is not leaving Charlotte.
Oh.
That's another pipe dream. He's in the same category as Ayton to me. I don't think even though it will be great for listen, if I seen Bridges, bro, I literally would politic with him like, bro, listen, this might be a good move for you because look, you got a Cade Cunningham over here. You coming back to where you want to be, and then Big Sean's going to be all around next season. Your rap career, because he's a big time rapper. You know what I'm saying? Right. Everything is in the right place for you, Bridges. Bring your ass home. But he loves where he is, man. I would imagine he loves playing with Ball over there. So I think he also sticks where he is. Greg Monroe. Wait a minute. Come on, bro. Moves.
Oh, he's just tripping, this guy.
I mean, she only costs about $100 a week to get him, but still, no. Terry Rozier might be a little pricey, man. What is his contract? Anybody know his details in the contract?
I think he's on his last year of an 18.
He's on his last year?
Maybe the year is last next year.
Scary Terry gonna cost some money too, man.
Yeah, maybe 20 million.
Yeah. And like I said,
and the NBA
would you give Scary Terry 20 mil over Brunson?
So the other thing is the NBA is increasing cap space this year. So we expect the salaries with the inflation. Hey man, everything's gonna go skyrocket.
Ashton is recruiting. What did he say? Did he just say something on Twitter? Ashton be live on Twitter, bro. Y'all got to.
He keeps it popping, don't he?
If you do not follow him on Twitter, you are a loser.
Yeah, you're missing out, man. I'm telling you,
bro. Follow him on Twitter, man.
He brings it,
man. It's a world of fun, bro.
Big shout out to him. And he be holding down.
Man, shout out to the whole family, man.
True ambassador,
Ashton, Cannon, Kevin, everybody, all the family, man. Like I said, just make sure that you guys go and follow him if you're on social media, man, because it's a ball of fun. Sexton, that name finally popped up.
Yeah,
Sexton. Especially with the emergence of Garland, Sexton is a possibility. So, what do you think it takes? Somewhere around 18 for him?
Yeah, I see him in that 20 mark too. I see him right around that $20 million mark.
18, 20.
Coming off that injury, I just don't know for sure what he's gonna be as far as. I mean, I expect him to be fully healthy and back, but I just don't know where he's gonna be with his game and then how he would best fit next to Cade. If we spend him $20 million, I would like for that guy to be a true knockdown shooter, somebody who can execute, fit in the system, but also play off the ball and still give you his scoring punch. That's what's needed. It can't be somebody who's going to come in and wants the basketball in their hands. It has to be somebody that's going to come in, allow Cade to emerge and grow in his game, and wants to do nothing but be that floor spacer type player. That's why I thought as a veteran, that's why I always thought Bryn Forbes would be a nice addition. He ain't going to cost nothing. He ain't going to want the ball. He going to come in and do what he do. He going to bring a little championship pedigree, and he going to knock down shots.
I love Forbes, man. It's an excellent choice, by the way.
I would say this. I like I said, I totally agree with what you're saying, man, because we need to go and get a guy that that complements Cade, man, that does, not cause conflict, and that's why I just wish so much that a guy like Killian did improve his offense. You know what I'm saying? I really do, because Killian's not selfish, Cade is not selfish, and they've shown the ability to play together. So we need a guy like that. We need a guy that's going to come in as a compliment to Cade, not someone to take the ball out of his hands. So Sexton wouldn't work for me.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. And that's why when we spoke earlier about Killian, that's why I said, to me, his biggest thing to work on this offseason is that catch and shoot. Yeah. If he can be that guy to where he could play off of Cade and help with the ball handling, guard that guard that's going to be on the perimeter trying to cause problems offensively, pick that guy up, allow Cade to flourish and run the offense, help him out a little bit, but then that four and knock down that three. That's a match made in heaven. That's peanut butter jelly, baby. That's as good as it get. You know what I'm saying?
He feeds Cade. He feeds Cade the ball really good too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just like we just need that offense, man. We need that. If
we got to get it.
If we can get that,
10 to 12 points, man, from him on a night-to-night basis, as he showed a little bit coming off that bench, that's right around what we need, man. We just that catch and shoot game, as Casey said earlier in the season, a couple weeks ago, maybe last month, he spoke on that, saying they want him shooting. He need to be getting up about 1,000 jumpers a day.
1,000 a day, yeah, that's the goal. Yep,
I'm pretty sure y'all seen that quote from Casey.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, like I said, that a lot of the fan bases they don't follow that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And they wonder why you guys like me say what we say. You know what I'm saying? It's because of what I'm reading. You know what I'm saying? What I'm seeing in these press conferences. That's why I say a lot of the things that I say. So, like I said, we just need to go out and get a guy. We just need to go out and get a guy that's a compliment for Cade, man. Yeah. Yeah, but I see you, Bravo. Just let me know when, bro.
All right. So, guys, I gotta go. I got work tomorrow. So
yeah,
wish you guys have a good rest of the night. And hey, it was a good season. We didn't really get what we wanted, which is the play-in tournament or advancing further. But hey, at least we're in the top 3 in the draft sequence, and hopefully we'll get a good rookie and continue rebuilding and move forward. So everybody have a good night. Talk to y'all later.
All right, be safe.
Right, Bravo. Nice talking basketball with you, man.
Take care, brother. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man. I keep seeing Anthony Simmons, man. That's not gonna happen. They're not letting that boy go from over there.
He ain't going nowhere from Portland.
They made that clear that he ain't going nowhere. That's why I said this free agency, it sucked, man. It really does. It sucks.
It's not a loaded class. It's not a loaded class at all as far as free agents. It's one of those things where you want to kind of save your money. You want to shop in the bargain basement. You want to find you some complimentary pieces, some nice little role players that can fit with your guys you already got right now. That's what we should be looking for.
I just need something dramatic to happen, like the Suns get put out and and get upset so we can pull somebody from over there.
Man, one of my favorite players over there, man. I love that boy Bridges, man. I be trying to tell people if Bridges didn't play with Phoenix, he would be giving you 20 a night.
Yeah.
Bridges got a game out of this world, man. He could take you off the dribble. He could shoot. It's just his role over there minimizes what he do. But when you force to play in a playoff situation, you force him to that third, fourth option, he'll kill you.
Yeah.
He'll kill you when it's his turn.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes, sir, man.
So, man, it's been 2 hours. I got to get off of here myself, man.
Yes, sir, man. We done.
It's
work in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what time it is, man.
It's work week, man. But I appreciate you for coming on, brother, man. Once again, go ahead and put your plugs in, man. Make sure that y'all subscribe to his channel. I'm telling you.
Yes,
but go ahead and put your plugs in.
All right, man. Once again, Deshaun Blunt, contributor at pistonpower.com. You can follow me over at Twitter at Mr. Black Platinum. And make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page. That's Pistons Weekly Report, man. We're going to be dropping content consistently with the weekly Sunday to start the week off. We're gonna kick off that with a live every Sunday, man, to get it popping.
All right, man. All right, man. So yeah, appreciate everybody in the comment section, man. Make sure you smash that like button for your boy, man. I appreciate you guys for dealing with me and all of my fussing tonight, as I always do. So you know, this is it, man. The season is done for the Pistons. We go into the playoffs, and after that, we look forward to the draft. So you guys can definitely get ready to look out for you know, those mock draft videos, man. Y'all know what time of the year it is, man. So it's time for me to start doing my thing as far as the mock drafts go. And we're going to talk about a lot of these young guys, especially those top 4 players. That's where we're going to start. So with that said, man, everybody enjoy your night. Be safe. Get ready for this work week. And that's all I got for y'all, man. Peace. Oh, man.